Caitlyn Clark's popularity is tied to her whiteness. Look at this. Tamika Townsell, PhD, is a professor who covers black representation. You're blatantly putting that this is about race.
Every single one of you WNBA players, you better pray that Caitlyn Clark doesn't get injured, because she's keeping your league afloat.
We saw what happened last year. Caitlyn Clark was targeted.
Forbes revealed themselves as the biggest farce in sports media after targeting Caitlyn Clark last year, claiming that Angel Reese and A'ja Wilson are the ones creating the WNBA, not Clark, who is responsible for its success.
The whole article is skewed and biased because it's the young white woman against these black athletes.
To be completely honest, the WNBA would still be vying for television attention behind bowling competitions and cornhole titles if it weren't for Caitlyn Clark.
WNBA's attendance had a record-breaking high in 20 years with a total of 2.3 million fans attending games. You know what the increase was from 2024 to 2023 in attendance? 48%. That's massive. That's the Caitlyn Clark effect.
Phenomenon, yeah.
If Caitlyn Clark gets injured, it's over with.
Angel Reese is a basketball player and TikTok influencer.
No one's tuning in to watch Angel Reese. It's just not happening. She's not Michael Jordan. She's not Magic Johnson. She's not Larry Bird. She's someone that taunted Caitlyn Clark. Those are the facts.
And Forbes, well, they simply portray themselves as a media outlet that promotes agendas and uses race baiting.
Jealousy and envy and delusion all mixed together. You have no idea what you're talking about. You're delusional. People are watching these games because of Caitlyn Clark.
Today, this isn't about race or social media followers. It's about reality, and reality makes one thing very evident. Therefore, I'm going to utilize the evidence they won't show you to prove every single word of that. Caitlyn Clark is the reason the WNBA is still discussed in the general public today.
He decided to throw A'ja Wilson into this absurd article from Forbes talking about how A'ja Wilson and Angel Reese are leading the WNBA.
Therefore, fasten your seatbelts because we are going to dismantle the Forbes storyline piece by piece. If you truly admire Caitlyn Clark, we have exclusive Caitlyn Clark fan gear linked. So buy it, wear it, and support Caitlyn like a true champion. Here's the fun part. Once you have your gear, wear it with pride, take a picture, and send it to the email that appears on your screen. We'll choose a few of your photos and feature them right here on our channel because this is more than just a video. It's a community of genuine Caitlyn Clark fans. I want you to prove it right now by typing Caitlyn Goat in the comments section below.
A'ja Wilson's been in the league how long? She didn't even shake the needle. She didn't even slightly vibrate the needle.
Angel Reese should come first because Forbes truly embarrassed themselves, attempting to pretend that she is creating the WNBA. I mean, who are we kidding? Angel? The WNBA itself is aware that Reese is expanding her Instagram and TikTok pages rather than the WNBA.
It looks like we're going to have a repeat of 2024 when it comes to Caitlyn Clark. The legacy media trying to poo-poo what it is Caitlyn Clark has done for the league. She's the face of the WNBA already. She's the only one that really and truly moves the needle. Nobody would know who Angel Reese was without Caitlyn Clark. Let us understand that.
How do we know? Because when the WNBA showed their players in uniform on the court as athletes, guess who they didn't include in that photo? Angel Reese, of course.
Is Clark even that active on her Instagram? I mean, I know it's a priority for like Angel Reese, I get.
Yes, they did show her, but not in her uniform, not playing basketball. Nay, they dressed her in streetwear and fashionable looks. This is because even the WNBA recognizes that Angel Reese isn't making any progress on.
All right, there's Caitlyn getting off the bus. Yep, here we go. There she is on the court. She's wearing a uniform. That's right. So all these players are coming off, right? There's Angel again. They put out this video, and Angel Reese fans are madder than a hornet. Everybody's in uniforms but Angel. So this is crazy. Y'all didn't have one picture or video of Angel in her uniform. Reese fans complaining because they didn't see her in uniform, laughing my ass off. How about complain about them waste of time double-doubles that just got you losses and lots of them? Pathetic. They have posted a video of highlights involving last year's WNBA draft, and my God, her fans are livid now. Thanks to the WNBA for confirming what I've been screaming for a year.
Why didn't you show Angel Reese in uniform? Why is she the only one not shown playing basketball was one of the many angry questions her admirers were posing in the comments section of the WNBA. Because Angel Reese has built her entire business around pursuing fashion deals and podcast appearances. I'll tell you why. TikTok is a dancer, content developer, and basketball player.
Becker's $2.2 million and Caitlyn Clark $3.1 million are among the biggest brands in the new era of visibility in women's basketball. There's just one player whose social media following surpasses them both, Angel Reese. Reese's 4.8 million Instagram followers with another 5.5 million on TikTok. Endorsement deals and content creation show that black women, including A'ja Wilson and Candace Parker, are still at the forefront of the WNBA's growth. The statistics do not support your claims.
Oh, and don't forget that everyone believed Angel Reese was dominating when she went on that double-double streak. But guess what happened to her team, the Chicago Sky? They started losing badly.
A'ja Wilson and Angel Reese are the ones that's really growing the WNBA. Even the WNBA doesn't believe Angel Reese is growing the league on the court.
While Caitlyn Clark's presence alone was shattering attendance records, packing arenas, and encouraging millions of fans to watch WNBA games on TV rather than just scroll past a TikTok clip, her statistics didn't convert into wins. Instead, they were meaningless numbers in garbage games.
Angel, who became the league's all-time leader in consecutive double-doubles, also extended her reach into fashion and podcast. Reese's brand blossomed before her professional career began, despite being selected 6 spots behind Clark. Her fans aren't basketball fans. They're not watching games, they're watching clips on TikTok.
And here's the biggest secret of them all. Caitlyn Clark is the only reason Angel Reese is this well known. Let's face it, if it weren't for their NCAA rivalry, nobody outside of die-hard women's college basketball fans would have even heard of her.
Caitlyn Clark is undoubtedly part of the reason why the WNBA broke multiple viewership and attendance records during the 2024 season. Caitlyn Clark was first in viewership and attendance and gate revenue. There was no close.
This is content creator Angel Reese. And it's obvious that basketball is her passion, highest priority. It's obvious that basketball is this athlete's top priority, and it's helping with things like shooting better from the field and missing layups. She lacks rhythm and can't make layups. Only fans can help her practice layups. Clark made her famous, and now Forbes wants to change the narrative and pretend that Reese is the league's best player, which is absurd. Angel. There is a significant disparity between Reese's growth in her social media following and her growth in the WNBA.
Angel Reese is the most unskilled basketball player in the history of basketball, in my opinion. She has no skills. She knows that she's not a very good basketball player. That's why she spends so much time half naked and taking pictures and promoting things that have nothing to do with basketball.
This is Angel Reese, the content creator side. It's pretty clear basketball is her top priority. I cannot imagine how anybody could view this athlete in any other way. It's clear basketball is front and foremost. This is all helping with things like shooting better from the field and missing layups. She has no rhythm, just like she can't make a layup. Practice layups. OnlyFans incoming.
Let's move on to discuss A'ja Wilson, who Forbes claims is the WNBA's face.
Niche is content creation, it's podcasting, it's TikTok and Instagram and all that, more than basketball.
Now let's talk about A'ja Wilson, the so-called face of the WNBA according to Forbes. Really?
Do you know where A'ja Wilson got her eyes on her last year? When she went out there and made those comments about being jealous of Caitlyn Clark's popularity because Caitlyn Clark was white.
Because despite her skill on the floor, A'ja Wilson just did not make the same impact as Caitlyn Clark, and this is where Forbes' situation becomes really embarrassing as they attempt to persuade people that A'ja Wilson is creating the WNBA based on what?
Wilson became a New York Times best-selling author in 2024 with the release of her book, Dear Black Girls, How to Be True to You.
Precisely her basketball prowess and MVP honors. But let's face it, the only thing that made national news was when A'ja Wilson began to voice her racial grievances. You played the victim. Let's all.
What are we really talking about when it comes to moving the needle? Ratings on actual television still crush any bullshit clips or any of that other stuff.
She freely acknowledged that she was envious of Caitlyn Clark's success and stated unequivocally that the reason the victim-playing game isn't increasing is because Clark is white.
The victim let all that go down, all that backlash, all that hate, and you didn't say a damn word.
Instead of discussing Caitlyn Clark's historic numbers, Wilson shifted the subject from basketball to a race war, and the unfortunate thing is that Forbes embraced it and ran with it. Record-breaking audience and revolutionary impact. They would prefer to promote the idea that black athletes are being passed over due to their color, but the truth is that it is not because she is white that Caitlyn Clark is the most well-liked player in the league. Rather, it is because she is a generational shooter and a once-in-a-lifetime talent.
And I think in overall popularity, does her race play a factor? Nominal. Women's basketball has had a cornucopia of talented white and black women's basketball players. Elena Delle Donne is white, is she not? Sue Bird, white, is she not? Asia Wilson's black. Cynthia Cooper, black. Like, you can go back through, and it's actually a lot more. There's gay and there's straight. There's black and there's white. There's tall and there's short.
She comes across as someone who is genuinely, just respectfully likable, which I believe contributes to her popularity. Other players are available that.
She is highly likable. I think that lends itself to her popularity is she comes across as somebody that's really just respectful, likable. There's other players out there that just don't come across that way.
It's not Clark's skin tone that draws attention. Rather, it's her deep logo threes on the court that make people pay attention. Record-setting assists. She has star power that goes beyond the game. And a Wilson and the media want to play identity politics because they realize they can't match Clark's impact in terms of raw numbers. You can see how desperate Forbes got when they hailed A.J. Wilson's book as evidence that she's expanding the league, discussing her activism, speeches, Nike clothing line, and everything else except her capacity to attract large crowds of people or sell out arenas. The truth is, however, that A.L. Wilson isn't the reason the WNBA is currently booming.
But I love my teammates so much that I will take any hit from them. Good, bad, ugly. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to try to be the best. I get y'all saying best player in the world. That's great. It looks great.
I think it's a huge thing. I think a lot of people say it's not about black and white, but to me, it is. It's really because you can be the top notch at what you do as a black woman, but maybe there's something that people don't want to see. Wilson said to the Associated Press.
One of the more interesting aspects of this fanhood is that some of the biggest supporters of Caitlyn Clark are not white. They're actually black males.
The timing speaks for itself. When Caitlyn Clark joins the league, the attendance record is broken. Caitlyn Clark's draft boom is the most widely observed. The greatest WNBA draft ever, Wilson, had 6 years to realize that this isn't about race, but rather star power. And Caitlyn Clark has it while Wilson doesn't. And regardless of how many victim narratives or racist articles Forbes publishes, the statistics never lie. Caitlyn Clark plays on ABC Boom, which broadcasts the highest-rated WNBA games in history.
Beckers and Clark are the kinds of players that force opposing teams to level up their game. Paige Beckers is just thrown in here. Don't know why.
Caitlyn Clark is the reason why people watch the WNBA, so let's move on to the part that the media despises the most, the truth. Let's put the fake stories, race baiting, and social media influence in the trash where they belong because the evidence regarding who is really creating the WNBA is so. Overpowering Caitlyn Clark is the WNBA, and without her, the league would still be in obscurity and fighting for any type of national exposure. That's not an opinion, it's a reality. Let's break this down step by step so that even Forbes can comprehend it. It's embarrassing that I even have to say it. First of all, the WNBA didn't just shatter records this year. Caitlyn Clark's appearance caused them to do so. We're discussing the most viewed WNBA games ever, and you know who participated in them. Caitlyn Clark.
There's so many players who cite you as an inspiration for their games, including Caitlyn Clark, who's just absolutely a phenomenon in college. What's that next step like for her?
You know, next steps, gosh, in this generation, right? You have, I think, just so many more challenges of how to handle yourself as an adult, right? You go through that whirlwind of being a senior in college, transitioning into the W, and then the next step is how to become just an even better leader. And so much of leadership, I think, is listening and learning. And hopefully the more she can get connected to vets in the league and just different people and coaches and anyone that she can glean wisdom from of how to just continue to learn how to be as a connected and inspiring leader as she can be. And a lot of that is walking the walk and not just talking the talk. So she's already on her way, but continuing to have fun, continuing to anticipate how people are going to try to stop her and being prepared as she can be for next season.
These weren't random figures, folks. She participated in both of the games that ended up becoming the most viewed WNBA games ever broadcast on ABC, and no one was saying, "Oh, I can't wait to watch A.A. Wilson's layups tonight." But everyone was tuned in because they wanted to watch her. Before Caitlyn Clark joined the WNBA, most teams were fortunate to have half of their arenas filled. But this year, Clark led the Indiana Fever to break their all-time single-season home attendance record of 340,715 fans. Let me reiterate that 340,715 fans packed arenas just to see Caitlyn Clark play. And do you know what's crazy? The Fever had one of the best attendance records ever. No one was staying home for Angel Reese's rebound stats. It was all about Caitlyn Clark's performance. Those are the league's worst records. People simply wanted to watch her in action, which is the epitome of a game share, regardless of whether they were winning or losing. No one is purchasing tickets to listen to Angel Reese's podcast, and no one is coming across the nation to hear A.J. Wilson discuss race. Instead, they are purchasing tickets to witness greatness, and that brilliance is Caitlyn Clark. Remember that the 2024 WNBA draft was the most viewed draft in league history? 2.4 million people saw Clark get picked, which is a figure the WNBA could only have imagined before she appeared. You would think that those numbers were for Angel Reese, but they were definitely not.
He's literally bragging about the Unrivaled at the bottom. They drew 180,000 viewers a game, and you're taking victory laps on the Unrivaled at the end of this article? All you need to know was what I started with. Black representation. A lot of times Forbes does better.
Reese was selected 6 picks later than Clark, and let's face it, no one would have given a damn if Clark hadn't been selected. Clark turned that draft into a worldwide event, demonstrating real star power and growth. Not Instagram followers or TikTok likes, but actual basketball fans tuning in to watch history. Now, Forbes wants to pretend that Angel Reese's endorsement deals with Reebok and Pepsi indicate that she's expanding the WNBA, which is adorable because Caitlyn Clark's portfolio of endorsements far outs anyone else in the league. State Farm Wilson Xfinity Gatorade Clark is attracting international brands, not simply specialized fashion brands or podcasts, like Bose Goldman Sachs and numerous other household names. Sponsorships, you understand why, as these businesses are aware of what Forbes won't acknowledge. Caitlyn Clark is currently the face of basketball, not just women's basketball, but all of basketball. Her influence extends beyond the WNBA, and she is a true superstar in every way. Let's dispel one more myth. Forbes continues to promote the idea that social media followings are what create a sports league. Angel, although Ree has 4.8 million Instagram followers and 5.5 million TikTok followers, her fans aren't watching games, purchasing tickets, or helping with TV ratings. Instead, they are interested in fashion, lifestyle, and trends rather than basketball. In contrast, Caitlyn Clark has fewer followers, but guess what? Watch the games, pack venues, purchase jerseys, and show up because they love hoops. For this reason, Clark is far more valuable to the WNBA than any social media influencer posing as a hooper. Caitlyn Clark is bringing basketball fans together rather than dividing them, smashing records, not griping about race, selling out arenas, and not pursuing TikTok influence. She is accomplishing what Ajel Wilson and Angel Reese could never do.
Caitlyn Clark, Nike, Gatorade, State Farm, Wilson, Hy-Vee, Xfinity, Gamebridge, Lilly, Panani, Bose, Buick, H&R Block, Tops, Shootaway, Goldman Sachs.
The Forbes story is nothing more than propaganda, since she is promoting the WNBA rather than just herself. They're trying to further an agenda, and I want to present the reality, which is straightforward. There you have it. Forbes can write as many biased articles as they want, push their agenda, try to rewrite history, and shout about race on social media and off-court branding all day long, but ultimately, facts don't lie. Without Caitlyn Clark, the WNBA would simply be smaller, and it might not even matter. In addition to playing basketball, Caitlyn Clark saved the WNBA. Before her, the league didn't exist. Now, it's a worldwide phenomenon with record-breaking TV ratings. Historic ticket sales in sold-out arenas. Millions of new viewers are drawn in by basketball excellence rather than TikTok dancing. Angel Reese is well known. Wilson made headlines because of Caitlyn Clark, not because of her game, but because she used the racial card. In the meantime, Caitlyn Clark is letting her game speak for her, and the entire world is watching. So let the media be upset, and let Forbes complain. Real fans are aware that the WNBA has a single player, Caitlyn Clark, who changed the game and made the league significant. No false narrative can alter that.